Did you think you were gonna talk more Japanese, like be forced to when you moved here?
Yeah, I thought I did.
He said that with such remorse, like
Because it's weird, right? Because I think everyone in my life expected me to, as did I.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is that I realize, okay, I work from home. I go to a language school where all the staff speak English. All my friends speak English.
Yeah.
Oh no. I stream. I speak in English. I go to the gym. I don't talk because who the fuck am I going to talk to unless that Hulk guy talks to me?
Yeah.
I don't know if
fucking
I've
massive chat.
if I've told that story. I think I have, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's actually like pretty much no time where I end up
to be
forced
fair,
to.
I'm kind of the same as well. Like,
Right. Well, how often do you speak Japanese people outside of business? Right.
yeah, I mean, because of COVID, I haven't been able to see my family like at all.
Right. Yeah.
So-
and that as well has made it even worse because strangers don't want to fucking talk to
Yeah,
foreigners.
exactly. I mean, like our neighbor next to us is like really fucking cool old couple, and like every time I see them, like I'll talk to them in Japanese. But I always get so nervous because the moment I start talking to them, I can hear it in my inflection that like, oh no, I'm fucking like losing touch on this shit. Like, I haven't been speaking it enough because I haven't been speaking enough because the only time I'll ever speak to is like with my mum, like an occasional Skype call or fucking
It's weird, right? You live in Japan and you're like you're losing it.
Yeah, I'm losing it.
Yeah.
So I have to like consciously fucking keep, figuring out ways of like, okay, how can I use this language? Because if there's one thing I don't want to lose, it's my Japanese.
Yeah, of course. And here's the thing about languages is that if you don't use it,
Yeah.
it'll get rusty. And that's true with like my Thai as well.
Yeah.
Now that
Same
I'm like
with my Welsh,
now that I'm living out of Thailand,
Yeah.
I'm just like, there's sometimes I'm trying to remember a Thai word when I'm speaking to my mum, and sometimes I get like the Japanese word instead because that's something I've been like studying more recently. It's really, and it's weird to think how little I can how little I can use Japanese and also live here. You know what I mean? Because you kind of subconsciously find a way to make it easy for yourself.
Not gonna lie, one thing I have been starting to do recently is like every time I read manga or a novel, a Japanese novel or something, I read it out loud. Just because if I read it in my head, like of course I'm gonna understand it.
No.
But it's completely different. Like reading and speaking skills is completely different.
Yeah.
So I've like just kind of very quietly read it to myself.
Yeah.
Just to remember like, okay, that's how you pronounce that word.
Yeah, it's like that for me, like reading Welsh. It's like getting confusing now because I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, you've seen the Welsh language, right? It's a
Yeah.
fucking jumble of sounds.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, fuck off.
That's why I don't understand, people who know like fucking 8 languages. And
Some people just have it, man.
Yeah,
It's
some
just
people-
it's just
crazy.
a capacity, right? Like, I don't think inherently I would ever learn more than one language because I'm lazy as fuck. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, the thing
But
is,
the fact of trying to pick up a third is like,
Yeah.
fuck. My brain is like, Connor, we're really going to our limit here, man. We're really pushing it.
But I don't think learning languages is hard per se. I think it's just like, okay, if we just all quit YouTube tomorrow for like for like a year and just focused all our time on actually learning this language, I feel we'd make like so much progress. But what's hard about it is trying to learn a language and fit it within our already current lifestyle where we're already busy as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's the real problem because it's like I'm trying to find time where time doesn't fucking exist nowadays. Where like it takes a lot of fucking time and dedication to learn a language.
And it's a long line between being able to speak a language conversationally and being fluent
Right, you need
in
to
the
be.
language.
The only time I've actually gotten like able to get proper Japanese practice is when we're fucking out on the lash or something. We're at a random bar and there's like we're fucking pissed out of our heads and there's just a random Japanese bloke who's as pissed as us. That's pretty much been like the best language practice I've gotten since I've moved here.
Honestly, yeah, that probably is the best way to do it because if you're like a little intoxicated, then you're gonna be less nervous.
Dude,
about
I swear to
trying it
God,
out.
I speak any languages like 10% better when I'm drunk, except
English. Yeah.
Except English.
Yeah, it's
so
weird.
true. Fuck, man.
But I mean, like languages, from what I've learned, is like learning a language and learning music or like an instrument is the exact same part of the brain. And and they say like it's the exact same with an instrument or language, but the second one is always going to be the most difficult.
Yeah.
And then from the third onwards, it just gets easier and easier and easier. And I guess for all three of us, the advantage is that we already know 2 languages quite fluently. So that's why, and you guys are learning a third, right? So it just puts pressure on me. I'm like, maybe I should learn a third language as well.
I mean, it's weird because I don't feel like I ever learned 2 languages. This is the first time I felt like I've trying to learn, actively learn something rather than just like, hey, I just knew this as a kid.
Yeah,
I didn't really have to think about it.
Because you don't think about it in your head when you speak Thai.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's just like it is very much like learning an instrument. It's just a lot of it is like muscle memory.
It is
your
pure
mouth.
muscle memory.
Yeah.
I do not remember how I learned it. I don't remember learning it. I just know that I've always been able to understand it and speak it.
That's why I hate it when people ask me like Japanese language questions. I'm like, I don't fucking know how.
Yeah.
And it's also like when you learn a language natively, I think you learn it wrong. You learn it locally and in a native way.
Yeah.
Right? So when some people would ask me questions about Welsh, and I'd be like, I don't fucking know. Like I just knew from speaking it. I don't know any of the rules. I couldn't do half of them correctly.
Right. That's why they say like the best way to learn any language is to live in the country that speaks it.
Right. I don't know. And I think I get a lot of questions about like, oh wait, which language does Connor speak? Well, it's because like I don't really get much use out of Welsh. So I don't really show it off much.
Right.
Unfortunately, because it's only spoken in Wales and one part of like South America. There's one small place in somewhere in South America where they speak Welsh, like a town.
Really?
Weird. Yeah, a bunch of like Welsh settlers went there and were like, fuck it, let's just make a town.
Let's just chill here.
Let's just do it. It's a shame because it's such a nice language. It sounds beautiful.
I fucking love the Welsh language, man.
And
it's so cool.
It's always fun hearing people pronounce the names of the towns.
Oh yeah. Isn't that BuzzFeed video where they try and pronounce like all the Welsh names and it's fucking horrible?
They sound as cool as they look as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like my dad can't speak Welsh, my mum can speak Welsh.
Right.
So my dad fucking butchers the names, and I always just correct him because I just find I just want to be an ass. I'm like,
oh yeah, I do that to my dad with Japanese as well. Like I fucking love doing it.
It's the same situation.
Yeah, it's like shut up, son.
Going back to the whole like trying to fit it around your lifestyle, there is such a big part of me that's like, fuck man, I wish I could just take a year off YouTube and like do it,
like perfect a skill.
But I'd get like just do Japanese class 5 days a week.
Yeah, I've like felt that definitely recently, where like my entire life has just revolved around YouTube for like the past 4 or 5 years, and then I kind of realized this last year, especially, it was just like, hey, there are other things I can do in my life other than YouTube, and learning Japanese is definitely one of them. But I really only have time to do one without making like substantial progress on the other, or just like making almost zero progress.
I mean, this COVID situation definitely hasn't helped, considering that's really limited where we can go, right? Because I feel travel as well, even if you're traveling with like a bunch of like English speaking people in Japan, you can put yourself into situations where you have to interact with the locals, right? Just travel is such a nice way of just meeting people and like getting to use the language as much as possible, because like I feel there's less stress using a language you're trying to learn while you're traveling, because at the end of the day, you're never going to meet this person again.
I would have no qualms about like butchering Japanese to an old lady.
And yet you get fucking nervous as shit trying to use Japanese at your local kombini, right? Because it's like, I'm going to see you again probably tomorrow, same time.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to be remembered as that gaijin who can't speak Japanese, right?
As much as there's a part of me that wants to do that, I'm like, at the same time, I feel like I'm enjoying YouTube now more than ever.
Oh yeah,
I'm enjoying everything about it, and it's going so well that it would make no sense to like stop doing it. Right? Like, because taking a year off YouTube, although I could probably come back from it, I probably could, but is it worth the risk? Like, no, probably not. I can always learn Japanese later on in life, which sucks that I wouldn't have it now, and I would rather have it now. But I can always
why not mix the two worlds together?
I feel
like. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Like, make some kind of YouTube content about you learning Japanese.
I considered that, but I thought that'd be such a big undertaking. And I've seen language channels, and they had like drama because they would like not end up learning the language. No joke. Like there was this video where a guy made like an apology video.
It was like technical drama.
So like because when those videos went around where it was like, dude speaks 15 languages on VR chat. You're like, well, that's just absurd. But then I started watching a lot of those videos, and I found like people who were like, their whole channel was about them starting from zero and then learning the language. And there was like drama with this one guy because he was learning 2 languages at once.
Right.
I think it was like, I can't remember. It was very different languages as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And about halfway through, like a year in, he's like, you know what? I'm quitting Swedish. I realized that it's just hampering my progress trying to learn 2 languages at once.
Right.
And all the comments were like, what the fuck, man? I can't believe
I believed in you.
Like, your Swedish was so good, man. Why'd you like? And I was like, whoa.
Oh my God. Anything can be drama now.
And I just thought like, if anything, it would be a thing where I would be like, okay, let's see how much I can learn in 3 months doing X a week, right?
Yeah.
And then I would not announce it, not make it a series, just here we go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also is a lot of pressure that is like, okay, I got to worry about making other videos and also actually learning Japanese.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this video is going to be a little awkward if it's like 3 months in, I learned nothing. Fuck.
But that would be funny, right? Like, that'd be like a funny conclusion to the video.
Would it though?
I think so. Isn't it like
I just wasted 3 months of my life and learned nothing.
You did it for good content, though.
Wasted 30 minutes of your life watching this video.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Fuck, dude.
Because I had this video idea where it's like, because I've always wanted to like improve more on my Japanese as well. So I'm like, I can't just like commit like outside of YouTube or like outside of what I do and all these side projects I do because I'm just way too busy now, which sucks because I really do want to like, you know, hone in on my Japanese a lot more. So I thought about like, you know, there's like the Kanji proficiency test.
Yeah.
And I got like the 3rd highest on that, but like that was back in like high school. But I'm like, I wonder if I can like go for the highest one. And
how many kanjis do you need to know?
For the highest one?
Yeah.
I believe it's 3,000. And I think only 0.4% of the population has it. Yeah, it's very like prestigious.
Yeah.
But I thought like, what if I did a video where
Is there a kanji for cultural cross-pollination?
I guarantee there is. Yeah.
Make one. You can
There's a kanji for everything, man. Don't worry. But I thought to myself like, I wonder if I did a video where I just like dedicated like a year to just document myself like learning that and trying to attempt for the test.
But isn't that scary though? Because what if you don't make any progress like 6 months in?
That's the only thing that stopped
then
me.
it's like, fuck.
And it's also like in order for this video to be successful, I gotta fucking grind this shit.
Yeah.
And if I do this and then the video flops, then that's just like, cool. I wasted a year of my life for a flopped video and a test that I failed in.
I think unlike the actual Japanese language, I think you actually can like gamify and speedrun kanji. Like I think kanji is speedrunnable.
I don't know, man.
Dude, it is. Dude, it totally is.
Explain.
Because you can, there's like apps that will like fucking whip you if you get it wrong, right? So I speed learned like 100 kanji in like a day by doing that. And I know all of them now. I can use them.
But if I sat you down and told you to write it out, could you?
Write it out? Some of them.
Right.
But
that's
read
thing.
them. Yeah, but I mean Japanese people who
read
can't-
them. Read them. Would
Yeah,
you be
yeah,
able to read
yeah.
100 kanji if I showed you?
100%.
Really?
100%.
Okay, now I'm tempted.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I'm tempted to
We'll do a
this.
live stream. We'll both stream. You could
Yeah,
fucking do
and
it.
I'll fucking do a kanji test on you.
The basic kanji,
The 100 kanji you know. I'll do a test.
100%. We'll do it.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
Because
Sounds like a video idea.
Because right, you can gamify it, like and you can start picking up patterns, and I feel like the way that you can, I don't know, like at least when I was learning kanji, I could easily pick up kanji, like I guess, because especially living in Japan, right? Because it wasn't like living in the UK, sorry, where you learn this kanji, you would leave your house, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
When you leave your house in Japan, even if you didn't talk to anyone, you see the kanjis everywhere.
Yeah.
So you could keep practicing because you keep seeing them like, oh, I know that. Oh, I know that.
Yeah, you do that after like every like trash taste session. Where we'd be catching the train, you'd be like, "What does that sign say? I've seen that one before."
Yeah. So
but I feel like that's the way you got to do it, right?
Right.
Because that's how a kid learns.
Yeah.
Just like inquisitively.
Yeah.
Problem is where it starts getting into like there's 4 kanjis with 4 different the same kanji with like 10 different pronunciations, and it's like this
Which is like 30% of all kanji.
I love the ones with like 2. I'm like, nice.